Hey everybody, good morning on this Monday as we all begin new adventures, many of us working from home for the first time and trying to figure out what that's like. I have been homeschooling and working from home for the last 8 years. So here's a couple of tips I have for you on how to make that successful. Okay, so here's my tips based on our 5 senses. Figured that was a good place to start. So the first one I would think of is sight. And in sight, probably looking at how your workspace that you have set up appears. Even if it's a little, like maybe originally it was a little cluttered and you weren't expecting to have to work from a home office, take just a few minutes to clean just maybe your desk space off if it's too overwhelming, just to get one space clear so you have enough places to work. That visually will help you stay focused on what you're doing. The next one would be smell. So if you can light a candle maybe, or if you have a diffuser, diffuse some scents that are energizing. Things like orange and peppermint work really well to help keep you focused and alert. Those are just some suggestions. If you don't have that, maybe you just made a big breakfast and bacon and things like that, which also can be pleasant to smell. Let's see, what's next? Smell. We did sight and smell. Let's do taste. Tasting can be things like drinking your cup of coffee and having that available, or a cup of tea, maybe even that would help. That can also help with some of the smell thing too, to stimulate your senses. As well as I would suggest sticking to your regular eating schedule. So don't bring a bunch of snacks and start eating while you're working. Even if maybe you normally do that at work, try to make your eating times purposeful. So eat breakfast at your kitchen table. And then for my example, my kitchen table is my office. So when it comes to my meal times, I close everything down, I clear back the space off, and I eat my meal to put it back up. Now, because I work from a laptop and an iPad, that's pretty easy to move and close down, but at least try to go back to your kitchen table or whatever table you would normally eat your meal at, away from where your working space is. Let's see, we've done. What do we do? Vision, smell, and taste we have covered. Touch, thank you. Touch is another one. So again, that tactile thing, having this warm cup of coffee helps me to get kind of going. The other thing that's really helpful is maybe, because you don't have to wear shoes, taking off your shoes and planting your feet on the floor, really staying connected and grounded with that connection to the floor. I would also suggest trying that for your touch. And then making sure things like the table is cleaned off so you don't have crumbs or other little bits that maybe feel weird or get in your way. The last one would be our hearing. That's the last of the major 5 senses. And for hearing, I would suggest to play something kind of in the background, like with the white noise kind of thing. A lot of times classical music works really great for that because there's no words for it and it has an even tone for the most part that helps keep you focused. There's lots of other playlists that you can find on Spotify or iTunes that will help you just have some kind of background music. The binaural beats, that's a good one that I like to use actually as a break. When I take about a 15-minute break after lunch, I will pop headphones in and listen to that binaural beats and just kind of rest for a few minutes so I can recharge and finish out the rest of my day. One more thing that I would like to include, even though it's not necessarily a 5-sentence, one of the senses that we think about, and that is your kinetic ability, that movement that we have. It is so important to still move, get up from your chair. Don't sit there for hours on end, or lay on your couch even if you decided to try to work from your laptop at your couch, still you need to get up and move around, get some blood flowing about every 15 to 20 minutes. It is bad for our eyes to stare at these screens for that long of time. Even just taking that break to look up and down again, taking just a brief eye break helps to do that every like 5 or 10 minutes, just looking away, looking outside, and coming back to your screen. That can be helpful. But since you're at home, you can kind of take that little stretch break doing some chair yoga, which is just some simple stretches. I will show you some of those in a minute. Or if you have some exercise equipment in your home, it's a great time to just do a 15-minute little stretch, like on a yoga mat, or do some jumping jacks, or run around your house in a circle, whatever you need to do just to get that blood flowing, and then come back. It will help you so much in focusing back on your work and that extra energizing feeling that you need. So that's basically it. I just wanted to help you guys try to get started in this like shift from moving from maybe your office to home, or helping your kids keep their schedules. I would suggest doing similar things to keep them in a schedule of working through the morning up until lunchtime. Yep, see, there they are working on their work. Yep, he's already done. And it's almost lunchtime here, so that's about right. My children tend to work on most of their schoolwork in the morning times until about lunchtime, where then after we eat lunch, I let them have, it's a break, but it's still focused educationally. Maybe they watch some YouTube things or something like that that still relates to some of the things we're learning, but they're not like book studying at that point, because they can usually go through those things pretty quickly in a few hours or so. We do all that high-level thinking things like math and problem-solving things. We do those in the morning, and in the afternoon we save for more creative things where our minds can kind of wander and have free. If that works for you in structuring your business, that's a great idea too, to start with maybe checking emails or answering things, and then leaving your afternoons for planning time. You know how you work the best. If you feel more creative in the morning, then just flip that and do your creative things in the morning and your more structured, linear thinking things in the afternoon. Whatever works for you. But just try to keep it similar to what you would have normally done at the office. Another thing I thought about that would be kind of cool is just keeping your same schedule in the morning, trying to get up at the same time, get dressed, even though I know that feels counterproductive. Put on some kind of clothes, even if it was just maybe more like comfortable casual clothes that you'd wear on the weekend, that's totally fine. But take off your pajamas and put on clothes, wash your face, brush your teeth, do the things that you would normally do to keep that same structure. And if you wanted to try to do something during your commute time, it's a great time to try a meditation for 5 minutes, using something guided if you've never done that before, so that your brain has something to focus and think about. Lots of other ideas. Audible has offered some free books. You could listen to some Audible book during that time period. Any of those things that you think that maybe you had always wanted to do but you can't do or don't have time for, that time for your normal commute is a good time to fill in that space. Doing all these things, keeping some similar structure, I think will also help when we all transition back into working from our offices again. It'll just feel like flowing. It does tend to take 2 weeks to change these kinds of habits, so give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself. This is not gonna just overnight make sense, and you are gonna hit some roadblocks. You are gonna feel stressed, struggle through some things. You are gonna be tempted to clean your kitchen and fold all your laundry in the middle of the day and stop working. So beware of those things too. Try not to stop and do your home chores. Please try to keep doing those at the regular times that you would. I think you'll find that you're gonna still be way more productive and still get all those things done in the normal normal way that you would. All right, well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching and paying attention. I hope some of these suggestions or tips help you. If there was one that you liked the best, or one that you hadn't thought of or would like to try, or have some other suggestions on ways that we can adapt our work life home into our home lives, drop something in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. All right, have a good day. Thanks. So start with just some basic neck stretches, pulling your neck down to one side and dropping the shoulder on the opposite side. Using your hands to help gently guide your head over to one side. Then maybe some neck circles, just making sure that you are gently rotating in one direction and then unwind and go the other way. Place your fingers behind your head and gently press the back of your head into your hands, isolating that neck. And then, of course, looking over your shoulder and isolating the opposite shoulder to get a good stretch on the neck. And then just do some shoulder rolls, bringing your shoulders up to your ears, back, down, and around, making sure you go both directions. And then cat and cow stretches, arching your back. Here, I'll move to the side so you can see. Arching your back and then extending. Just getting that spine moving and some flexibility. And you can just rock side from side, isolating your hips so that they don't move. You're just bending from your waist, your torso, just leaning one way and then the other. And finally, let's stretch out your hips a little bit, crossing one ankle over the knee and using your hand to press down into that knee to just get a good stretch into the hip. You can lean forward to make that a little bit more challenging. And then just release that by stretching out the leg in front of you. If you can't touch your toes, that's fine. Just do the best you can. And of course, do the same on the opposite side. Pressing down through the knee so that you can stretch that hip and leaning forward, and then releasing by grabbing a toe or ankle, whatever's available, and just stretching that out. And then finally, just bending over to touch your toes and straighten your back to flat and rounding, similar to what we were doing with the cat-cow stretches. That's all. Also, if you happen to have something that is inflatable, like this wobble disc, you can do all those same things on the wobble disc. It just makes it a little bit more fun and entertaining while you're sitting at the computer. You can wobble wobble. Okay, so I hope that helps with just those few tips. There are so many other things that would be helpful from just trying to make this transition to work from home. But the main thing is to be patient with yourself as you make these adjustments, and with any coworkers that you have, as they're all trying to do the same things as you are, making some different transitions, as well as your children. They are in a totally different place, and while they may think that this is just summer break and they're super excited about it, you also know that they still have work that needs to be done. So set that example for them, get your work done like they need to get theirs done, create that space and time where maybe you're working side by side with each other, just to have just another way to connect in this just who knows what's happening interesting times that we're in. So like I said, I hope that helps, and I hope everyone has a great day and just enjoy this time, even though I know it can be challenging. Find the joy, find the positives, and keep moving forward.